In this video, we're going to talk about how to grow as a small creator, or small in brackets, because it doesn't matter actually what size you have on Instagram, based on Adam Mosseri's Q&A answers that he gave about growing as a small creator. You understand it. Let's roll. Welcome back, Dominators. I'm gonna be honest with you, my friends. Growing on Instagram is actually hard, and like all things, if you want to have success, you have to put in the work. Thing is, with Instagram, it's kind of sometimes a big guesswork of actually figuring out what actually works and what not. And part of my whole job, if you will, in the past few years has been to figure out, do a lot of experiments, figure out what might work, what actually works on Instagram, and yeah, well then telling it to you. For example, I have a free training link down below where I have figured out some stuff on what actually works on Instagram, but that's not the interesting thing about this video. As you guys might know, I follow Adam Mosseri, the Instagram CEO, who seems to be kind of a chill, cool guy. He kind of has a filter though, if you ask me, a filter given directly from Zuck, probably, just putting that out there. But yeah. He's doing these Q&As as of recently, which I seem to really love, where people can ask questions about Instagram, about growing on Instagram, and he actually gives some pretty solid advice. And sometimes you can actually read between the lines, which is what we're going to do again here in this video. I've got a lot of very interesting videos queued up, but the guy just gives me enough content to, make these videos. A few days ago, when Instagram CEO Mosseri was being asked about how to grow as a small creator, he said the following.
Audience is different, so you have to experiment and figure out what's going to resonate with your audience. Lean into video because that seems to be something that everybody wants to see more of recently. And then beyond that, think of new and creative ways of connecting the different products we offer, because that's always exciting to see.
Anyway, I'm going to be breaking these things down into small different sub-points so you'll understand this. First of all, he said that everybody's audience is different and that you have to experiment in order to understand what resonates with your audience. And just this alone actually has a couple of things, very important things hidden in there. First of all, let's talk about your audience. And chances are actually that you actually have no idea what your audience is. And we sometimes talk about this. I actually talk about this a lot in my paid program, The Black File, because I figured out doing a lot of research out, years of research, that actually the algorithm tracks this, the relationship with your audience. Talking about your audience, just be clear, be honest with me. Do you actually know who your audience is? Because I get it a lot when we do profile reviews or when we have some consulting calls. People actually don't know what their audience is, and people think, well, I'm just gonna start creating and it's the audience will follow. Actually not. You have to understand, it's not just this loose word. You create and there's an audience somewhere out there. You actually have to define your audience. You have to exactly know who you create content for. I see it actually a lot. A lot of people start creating content hoping that actually at some point they're gonna find an audience, by just creating content here and there, doing their things, might be even within their niche, whatever, if they have a niche. But they create content and then they hope, yeah, well, maybe I'm gonna find an audience along the way. But that's actually quite the opposite of what should be done. It's actually the other way around. You create content specifically with an audience that's predefined in your mind. And that's a very, very important first point that I can't stop preaching enough, but people just don't want to do it. They're like, I don't know what to do wrong. You didn't even start with the basics, people. The basics are really, really important. So first point is know who your audience is. We saw it. Instagram CEO talked about it right now. Know who they are, know what they want, and only then you can start experimenting with your content to actually figure out and dial down what kinds of content might perform better with your audience, getting the algorithm on your site. And this is the second thing that actually he brought up in this first sub point. Experiment with your content. There's different kinds of content. There's different kinds of posts. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But, important for you to know is track the metrics. Don't just be kind of blindly following your gut feeling and things like, okay, maybe this type of content performs better because it feels like I got more likes. But when you actually track the metrics, we talked about it in our analytics video about growing with analytics. Metrics could be skewed. Your gut feeling could be skewed. Could be that even though you might have less likes on a post because you got less reach and stuff like this, actually your engagement might be better than usual. And using this information can help you grow, a lot further in the long term than, just some short-term likes where like, okay, whatever. So map out your audience first, create content, specific forms of content, and actually track your analytics and map out your analytics so you can understand what really works and what not, and then you're going to start doubling down on that. This is exactly what he meant with this one sentence here. Second point that he talked about is that you should start to lean into video content because that's what everybody seems to be into. This is what he said. But what he actually meant, my friends, it's actually a few different things for me. So first of all, there has to be some sort of algorithmic boost if you leverage video the right way. I mean, it's not just pure coincidence that the Reels feature has been rolled out to almost all of the world already by now, you know? But that's not only it, because the most important thing behind that actually, because you have to know the algorithms always kind of follow people and what people want, because that's what they want. I'm not going to confuse you too much with that. But the important thing is that videos create connections. You know, just think about that. A video has, you know, depends on where and what and how, 24 to 30 frames per second, which means that people actually get to see a lot more from you than with just a picture. And you have to understand that everywhere in life, especially in social media, and when you are out there somewhere, there's a lot of sub-communicational things going on at the same time that you don't even notice, that just your brain just starts to notice. So if you start with videos, all the micro expressions, the way that you behave, your voice even, is what people start to see, you know, subcommunicationally, subliminally, or whatever. And just things like that make people form a connection with you a lot more, a lot easier, a lot stronger. Just by doing that, just the micro expressions, the weird way people speak with you. I shouldn't drink so much coffee, by the way. It's not just a coincidence why people fall madly in love with fictional movie characters that they see. You know, for example, Brad Pitt or somebody, and then somebody meets Brad Pitt on the street and they think he's this awesome doctor. I don't know if he plays a doctor, but you get what I mean. For example, it's a lot harder to fall in love with just a billboard ad that has 3 sentences attached to it that's say, well, you know, today I'm working out, or something like this. So be the character of your own movie without actually acting it. You know, you just have to be real, but that's all part of another video. The second sub reason of why you should create videos is actually the money aspect and the whole monetary aspects behind the platform. Let me get into that. It's actually kind of a straightforward thing. People who watch videos are staying longer on the platform, which means the chances of those people getting served an ad is actually higher. And if people stay longer on the platform, it also makes the platform more valuable for advertisers, which means the ad rates go up. You know, also the value of the company and stuff like this. And this actually has been a theory of mine for quite some time, is that kind of similarly to YouTube, Instagram actually tracks the watch time of an account even on how long people actually stay on your profile, stay on to watch your content. Because the longer people stay on and watch your content, like I said, the more valuable you are for the platform as a whole. And for example, if you make some great stories, you know, Instagram stories, and have people watch throughout, interact with you a lot, you're gonna see the longer people stay on. If you have a story behind it, if you have some interaction elements behind it, you're gonna see your story views are gonna go up just because Instagram is gonna show it to a lot more people if the watch time is up. Which actually brings me to point number 3 that Mosseri brought up, and it's actually super closely related to that. He said that you should think about how to best leverage and connect the different products that they offer. Stories, Reels, IGTV. And what does he mean with that? Obviously, he wants creators to make their audience stay as long on their platform as possible and use all the different functionalities, stories, IGTV, and stuff like this. And I guess there will be some sort of algorithmic benefit if you actually manage to do that. If you kind of have a wide net of different content, for example, you know, you have twice a week, you have Reels that people really engage with, and you post an IGTV video every month or every week, and normal posts and stories every day. And depending, you know, the more people actually watch through, stay there, and being pushed around the different sides of the app, I guess there will be more algorithmic benefits for you, making it easier for you to grow. And like I said in one of our last videos, you are actually, as a creator, you are actually the product of Instagram. And your job is actually to keep people entertained and stay on the platform. So if you manage to do that with the things that we just talked about, I think you're gonna have a pretty good time on there, growing like never before. So there you go, there you have it. This just goes to show the things that I always had in mind, the things that I always actually figured out by doing lots of testing and the trial and error, that the real organic way is the way to go. And just by doing these things, you're going to see the organic growth is going to be high up. Of course, if you don't do any of the weird things like using a bot or stuff like this. And if you're looking for ways to actually do exactly that, what Mosseri just leaked to us a few days ago, I actually have a free training down below. It's free. It's an on-demand training. We actually talk about these things. We've been talking about these things for a few months actually right now already on how to grow on Instagram using the organic way without getting any bans or anything, just the way that apparently the Instagram CEO also likes to talk about. So anyway, I'll see you soon. There's kind of more echo here in this room again. Don't ask me why. My name is Dominic. I'll see you in a few days. Keep growing. Yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bye.